Fear is an instinct designed to keep people safe, but in the modern world, it has become a crutch. It holds people back from stepping into their full potential, keeping them shackled to mediocrity. It whispers doubts, plants insecurities, and convinces people that discomfort is a threat rather than a path forward. The truth is, the greatest growth happens when one runs directly into fear instead of away from it. Most people let fear dictate their choices, choosing the easy road because it feels safe. But nothing great is ever built from a place of safety. Every person who has achieved something significant has felt fear but moved forward anyway. They didn't wait for the fear to disappear, they accepted it as part of the process. The difference between success and stagnation is in how fear is handled. It can either be the wall that blocks progress or the fire that fuels it. Fear should not be seen as a signal to stop, but as a call to step up. The discomfort that comes with fear is a sign of growth, a signal that something meaningful is on the other side. It is the body and mind resisting the unknown, trying to convince a person to stay where it is familiar and predictable. But growth does not exist in the familiar. It exists beyond the walls of certainty, in the spaces where mistakes happen, where struggle is real, and where self-doubt creeps in. The mind is conditioned to seek comfort, but comfort is the enemy of evolution. It lulls people into a false sense of security, keeping them from ever reaching their full capacity. The greatest achievements come from those willing to embrace the unease, to sit in the discomfort and to push past it. Fear only has power when it is avoided. When it is faced head-on, its grip weakens. It becomes just another hurdle, not an impassable barrier. Every moment of fear is an opportunity to build mental strength. Each time fear is confronted, resilience grows. Most people wait for confidence before taking action, but confidence is not built through avoidance. It is built through action, through stepping into the unknown repeatedly until fear no longer controls the outcome. The first time facing a fear is always the hardest, but repetition makes the impossible feel achievable. People become stronger not by waiting for fear to disappear, but by choosing to move despite it. This is how the mind is trained to endure. Strength is not found in avoiding struggle, but in willingly walking into it, knowing that every step taken in fear is a step closer to self-mastery. The biggest lie people tell themselves is that they are not ready. They think they need more time, more preparation, more reassurance. But fear will always create reasons to delay, to hold back, to wait for a perfect moment that never comes. The truth is, readiness is a myth. No one ever feels truly ready to take on something that scares them. And the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. One acts and the other hesitates. The only way to ever be ready is to begin. Action is what dismantles fear. Taking the first step, no matter how small, is what shifts the balance from uncertainty to control. Fear feeds on hesitation, but it starves in the face of movement. Those who achieve greatness are not fearless. They simply refuse to let fear dictate their choices. They feel the same doubt, the same anxiety, the same hesitation, but they move forward anyway. They have trained themselves to recognize fear not as a warning to stop, but as a signal that they are on the right path. The presence of fear means that something important is at stake. It means that a limit is about to be tested, a boundary is about to be expanded. This is where transformation happens. The mind adapts to what it is exposed to. When exposed to fear repeatedly, it stops perceiving it as a threat. It starts recognizing fear as a challenge to be met, rather than an obstacle to avoid. Avoiding fear leads to a life of limitation. It keeps people boxed into routines, confined within the same patterns, never daring to explore their full potential. Playing it safe may provide comfort, but it also guarantees regret. The things that seem terrifying today will one day be seen as missed opportunities. The only way to ensure that does not happen is to act now, to take risks, to face fear instead of backing down from it. The cost of avoiding fear is far greater than the discomfort of facing it. Every challenge avoided is a lesson unlearned, a skill undeveloped, and a version of oneself left undiscovered. The choice is simple: stay in fear and remain the same, or embrace fear and become something more. No one is born with an unbreakable mindset. It is built through consistent exposure to fear and the decision to push through despite it. The mind is like a muscle, and fear is the weight that strengthens it. The more it is confronted, the stronger it becomes. Every time a fear is faced, a new threshold is set. What was once intimidating becomes normal. What once seemed impossible becomes a standard. This is how limits are shattered and new possibilities open up. The process is painful, but so is staying stuck. The difference is that one pain leads to growth while the other leads to regret. The pain of pushing through fear is temporary. The pain of knowing a challenge was avoided lasts forever. Most people do not fail because they lack ability. They fail because they never try. They let fear convince them that they are not capable, not worthy, not strong enough. But every person who has ever achieved something great started in the same place, uncertain, afraid, and full of doubt. The only difference is that they did not let those feelings stop them. They moved forward anyway. Even when they didn't have all the answers, even when the fear felt overwhelming, they understood that fear is not a stop sign. It is an invitation to test limits, to discover what is truly possible, to prove to themselves that they are stronger than they ever imagined. Fear will never go away. It will always be there, whispering doubts, creating hesitation, trying to pull people back into comfort. But the goal is not to eliminate fear. It is to master it, to see it for what it is, an illusion, a mental construct that only has power if it is given power. The only way to break through is to move, to take the step, to make the decision, to act, even when every instinct says to stop. Fear thrives on inaction. The moment action is taken, it loses its grip. It becomes just another obstacle to overcome, another challenge to face, another step on the path to becoming something greater. Comfort is the silent killer of potential. It lulls people into a state of complacency, making them believe that they are fine just as they are. It convinces them that there is no need to push harder, to go further, to challenge themselves beyond what is familiar. But the truth is, comfort is the enemy of growth. It is the space where ambition dies, where dreams fade, and where people settle for far less than what they are capable of. Comfort may feel good in the moment, but over time, it weakens the mind and body. It strips away discipline, kills hunger, and leaves people wondering why they never became what they were meant to be. Growth does not happen when things are easy. It happens when things are hard, when every fiber of the body and mind is tested, when there is no choice but to rise up and fight through the resistance. The world rewards those who refuse to settle, those who push past their limits, who break through the walls of fear, who step into discomfort again and again until it becomes their new normal. Every time a person chooses comfort over struggle, they reinforce weakness. They tell their mind that it is acceptable to stop when things get difficult. But the mind is capable of adapting to whatever it is exposed to. If it is exposed to comfort, it becomes lazy. If it is exposed to hardship, it becomes unbreakable. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who don't is not talent, luck, or intelligence. It is the willingness to embrace suffering, to endure discomfort, and to keep going even when every part of them wants to stop. Discomfort is the price of transformation. It is the process that turns weakness into strength, doubt into confidence, and failure into success. Those who avoid discomfort avoid progress. They stay in the same place, repeating the same patterns, never stepping into the unknown. They convince themselves that they are fine, but deep down, they feel the weight of wasted potential. The body is designed to adapt, but only when it is pushed beyond its limit. The mind is the same. It does not grow by avoiding challenges, it grows by overcoming them. Those who understand this principle seek out discomfort. They chase it, knowing that every moment of struggle is making them stronger, sharper, and more resilient. Nothing worth having comes from an easy life. Strength is built through hardship, through pain, through moments where quitting feels like the only option. But quitting is always a choice, and so is pushing forward. Those who succeed are not the ones who have an easy path. They are the ones who refuse to stop when things get hard. They understand that pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. They train their minds to endure, to embrace the grind, to love the struggle, because struggle means progress. It means movement. It means becoming more than they were yesterday. There is no growth without resistance, and there is no greatness without suffering. Most people never reach their full potential because they are addicted to comfort. They want results without sacrifice. They want success without suffering, but that is not how progress works. Every step forward requires a price to be paid. That price is discipline, sacrifice, and the willingness to push through when others give up. The human body and mind are designed to be tested, to be pushed, to be forced into situations where they must evolve or break. The difference between winners and everyone else is that winners refuse to break. They refuse to let comfort rob them of what they could be. They lean into discomfort, knowing that on the other side of struggle is strength. Pain is not the enemy. Fear is not the enemy. The real enemy is a desire for an easy life. An easy life leads to a weak mind. A weak mind leads to excuses. Excuses lead to a life of mediocrity. Every time discomfort is avoided, an opportunity is lost. An opportunity to become stronger, to build resilience, to prove that limits are nothing more than illusions. The greatest moments of transformation happen when a person is pushed to their breaking point and refuses to quit. It is in those moments that character is built, that true strength is forged. The world does not respect those who quit. It respects those who endure. Most people quit when things get hard because they have never trained themselves to push past discomfort. They have spent their lives choosing what is easy, what is convenient, what is comfortable. But comfort does not lead to greatness, it leads to regret. The only way to avoid that regret is to embrace the struggle, to welcome the pain, to step into discomfort every single day. Success is not about talent, it is not about intelligence. It is about grit. It is about the ability to keep going when others stop. The ones who make it are the ones who refuse to give in to weakness. They refuse to let comfort control their lives. Growth is found in suffering. It is found in the moments when quitting feels like the only option, but a person chooses to keep going. It is found in the days when motivation is gone, when exhaustion is at its peak, but discipline takes over. Those who live by discipline, not by emotion, are the ones who win. They do not wait until they feel ready. They do not wait for the perfect conditions. They take action no matter how they feel because they understand that comfort is a trap. It is the place where dreams die, where ambition fades, where people wake up years later wondering where their potential went. There is no easy way to success. There is no shortcut to greatness. The only way to achieve something extraordinary is to suffer for it, to struggle, to push through, to embrace the pain and turn it into power. Those who live in comfort live in fear. They fear struggle. They fear failure. They fear the unknown. But those who run toward discomfort, who seek it out, who welcome it, are the ones who build an unbreakable mind. They do not fear suffering because they have trained themselves to thrive in it. They have conditioned themselves to survive any challenge, any obstacle, any hardship. They know that the only way to grow is to go through the fire again and again until they emerge stronger than ever before. Pain is temporary, but regret lasts forever. In the moment, pain feels unbearable, like something to run from, something to avoid at all costs. The body screams to stop, the mind begs for relief, and every instinct fights against the discomfort. But pain is not the real enemy. It is simply the price of progress, the toll required to achieve something meaningful. It fades, it passes, and in its place, strength is left behind. But regret does not work the same way. Regret lingers, eats away at the mind, and stays long after the opportunity to change is gone. It is the weight carried by those who chose comfort over challenge, who let fear dictate their actions, who look back on their lives and realize they never truly pushed themselves. The pain of effort is nothing compared to the pain of knowing that more was possible but was never pursued. Every person will face a moment of decision, push forward through the pain or give in to the temporary relief of quitting. The choice seems simple in the moment, but its consequences last a lifetime. Those who quit convince themselves that stopping was the right choice, that they were too tired, too overwhelmed, or simply not ready. But deep down, that voice of doubt never fully disappears. It resurfaces in quiet moments, in reflections late at night, in memories of what could have been. No one looks back with pride on the times they quit. No one remembers the excuses they made with any sense of satisfaction. What remains are the chances they did not take, the challenges they avoided, and the realization that they let fear control their decisions. Pain tests limits. It exposes weakness and forces growth. It does not exist to stop progress, but to demand that a person earns it. Every breakthrough comes on the other side of struggle. No one achieves anything great without suffering for it. That suffering is the proof of commitment, the evidence that something truly matters. The harder the challenge, the more rewarding the victory. There is no shortcut around this truth. Those who refuse to endure pain also refuse to evolve. They remain stuck at the same level, never experiencing the satisfaction of overcoming something that once seemed impossible. Pain is not punishment, it is preparation. It is the necessary cost of becoming stronger, sharper, and more capable. People often convince themselves that avoiding pain is the smart choice, that it is better to take the easy road, to stay where it is comfortable and familiar. But that mindset leads only to regret. It leads to a life of missed opportunities, of wondering what could have been, of feeling trapped in a reality that never fully lived up to its potential. The truth is, the easy road always comes with a hidden cost. It might not be obvious at first, but it accumulates over time. Every time discomfort is avoided, a piece of resilience is lost. Every time a challenge is sidestepped, self-respect erodes. The cost of avoiding pain is weakness. It is a life dictated by limitations instead of possibilities. There will always be moments when stopping seems like the best option. The mind will justify quitting in 1,000 different ways, offering rational excuses to make the decision feel logical. But logic does not build strength. Logic does not create champions, leaders, or game changers. Those who accomplish extraordinary things do not listen to the voice that tells them to quit. They push through even when every part of them wants to stop. They understand that pain is the path to transformation, that the only way to unlock hidden potential is to endure suffering, to resist the urge to stop, and to keep moving forward even when nothing is left in the tank. Regret, on the other hand, is the pain that never fades. It is the realization, often too late, that an opportunity was wasted, that more was possible, but fear, doubt, or weakness got in the way. Regret is the weight of knowing that a past version of oneself chose comfort over challenge, ease over effort, mediocrity over excellence. It is the haunting thought of what could have been if only more had been given. Unlike temporary pain, which passes, regret lingers. It cannot be undone. It stays with the person, a constant reminder that they settled when they could have risen, that they allowed themselves to break when they could have endured. There is no escaping hardship. Life will bring pain one way or another. It will either be the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The difference is that one leads to progress and the other leads to disappointment. Those who embrace the struggle, who push through suffering, who refuse to let pain dictate their actions, are the ones who create lives of meaning and impact. They understand that temporary discomfort is a small price to pay for lasting fulfillment. They would rather endure the exhaustion of pushing themselves than the emptiness of knowing they never tried. They refuse to be haunted by the question, what if I had just kept going? The mind is always looking for the easy way out, for an escape from suffering. It wants to stay comfortable, to avoid stress, to retreat at the first sign of struggle. But that instinct is the very thing that holds people back. The body is capable of enduring far more than it thinks. The mind, when properly trained, can push through exhaustion, doubt, and pain. It can override the desire to quit and find a deeper level of strength that would have remained hidden otherwise. Those who train themselves to push past that threshold, who refuse to listen to the excuses, are the ones who achieve the impossible. They become stronger not because they are born different, but because they are willing to suffer more than others. The greatest victories are always earned through hardship, No one who has ever achieved something significant did so without sacrifice. The effort, the exhaustion, the pain, it all adds up to something greater. Those who keep pushing, who fight through the hardest moments, who refuse to break under pressure, are the ones who look back on their lives with pride instead of regret. They do not dwell on what they could have done. They know they gave everything. They know they left nothing behind. They understand that pain was never the real enemy, quitting was. The mind is the battlefield where all victories and defeats happen long before they ever play out in reality. It is the source of every success, every failure, every breakthrough, and every limitation. What separates those who rise to greatness from those who remain average is not talent, intelligence, or luck. It is mental toughness. It is the ability to control thoughts, to silence doubts, to override fear, and to push forward even when everything says to stop. Weakness begins in the mind, and so does strength. Those who win in life understand this truth. If the mind is mastered, then nothing can break the body. But if the mind is weak, even the smallest challenge will feel impossible. Strength is not found in comfort, in ease, or in the absence of struggle. It is found in adversity, in suffering, in the moments when the body screams for relief, but the mind refuses to give in. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond when things get hard. Everyone faces struggle. Everyone experiences setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. But the ones who refuse to break are the ones who train their minds to keep going no matter what. Most people allow emotions to dictate their actions. If they feel tired, they stop. If they feel uncertain, they hesitate. If they feel afraid, they run. But emotions are temporary, and relying on them creates inconsistency. The strongest minds are not controlled by feelings, they are controlled by discipline. Discipline means showing up even when motivation is gone. It means taking action regardless of how difficult, exhausting, or painful it may be. It means developing the ability to push forward even when there is no visible progress, trusting that persistence will bring results. The human mind is wired for survival. It seeks comfort, avoids danger, and resists anything that feels unfamiliar. This is why most people stay stuck. They allow their minds to control them instead of taking control of their minds. They let fear make their decisions, let doubt hold them back, let excuses become their reality. But mental toughness is built by pushing beyond that instinct. It is built by stepping into discomfort again and again until the mind learns that struggle is not the enemy, it is the path. Growth only happens when resistance is met head on, when the urge to stop is ignored, when the body and mind are pushed past what they once believed was possible. This is how barriers are broken, how limitations are shattered, and how a person transforms into the strongest version of themselves.